Oh,
How are we?
you, but no Jaden.
No Jaden.
No Jaden. Yeah. Is he all right?
Nah, he's all good, eh?
Bit sick?
Yeah, a bit sick. Well, that's what he tells me anyway, so.
Fair enough, mate. We've all got to have those moments when we need to take a pass.
Yeah, for sure.
And rest. So I should say a few things. So subscribe to Manaki.io, join the platform, look for us on YouTube. These are a series of talks that we do with founders who have something behind what they're doing. And so I've been watching Sam now for, I don't know, about a year and engaged with him via LinkedIn, which is pretty funny because he's a young fella and most young fellas have an allergic reaction to LinkedIn. And I've just been really keen to hear the story that Sam has and also for you to hear it. So that's why I invited him in. And it's pretty awesome to actually have you here. One of the things I can say about Sam is that his communication with people is extraordinary. And it's extraordinary because it's so uplifting. And if you watch any of his videos on Better Than Before and some of the things he's done, you will see a consistency. But even in the DMs, his consistency of communication is so uplifting, so positive, and it always makes you feel incredible when you go away. So thank you.
No, thank you, mate.
Why do you do that? Like, tell us about that.
Why not?
You know? I know. Well, that's a good answer.
Yeah. Because I just think it's important. Like, at the end of the day, like, I'm creating opportunities for myself by doing that too. Like, it's being selfish at the same time, you know, like, I think connection is something that probably we make it surface level. We don't make it at, where that real special level of comms is at. So, I think it's important to connect with people. You know, the more connection, the more opportunity that you create for yourself. And, it just makes you feel good, you know. So I think it's important to, make those connections. And it's funny because some of the connections that I've been making so far are stronger than, the relationships I've had in my whole life because of this and because of, the reason why and things like that. So, yeah.
Do you think that's because of what you're doing, like Better Than Before?
Yeah.
Or do you think it's because of the method of communication?
I think it would definitely be about probably being about Better Than Before, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's talk about Better Than Before.
Yeah.
I was going to wear the same beanie, which Sam just gave me, which is very nice. But one of the reasons why I'm wearing this beanie today, which is reminds me of a time, I think it's about 3 years ago, where I was really lucky with the Blake Trust to sail on the HMS Canterbury to the Kermadex, right? And I wasn't going to go because I was shitting myself about going in a tin can into the middle of the ocean and doing things like swimming with sharks, right?
When you see it, though, it doesn't look like a tin can, but then when you're in something that's a lot bigger,
I remember two things from that. One, having to strap myself in a force 10 gale in the bunks, and two, actually there's three. Two, being told that I snore a lot, and I was like, hello, I know this. And three, was swimming in the water and turning around and just seeing sharks following me and going, that's kind of interesting. But why I'm wearing this is that we've been going through some challenges, and I'm really big into visual cues. And so I actually put this on today because I was like, I need to harden up and face into the challenges. And by wearing this, it makes me stronger. So awesome. I'm sorry I'm not wearing Better Than Before.
Yeah.
But I've got that beanie over there.
Hopefully that'll do the same thing for you.
I hope so. So tell us about Better Than Before.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's my dream. That's what it is, to be honest. It all started because I was just reflecting. I felt that life was good, from the outside looking in for, my friends and things like that, being like early 30s, owning a house, starting my family, or actually owning 2 homes, starting a family and things like that. And then there was just things in my life that I always wanted to change, but I wasn't taking action towards those. And the drinking and stuff like that, I was always set a goal to be like, I want to not drink for the month or things like that. So my son was about to be born, and so I wanted to be as present as I possibly could for the first 12 months. So I was making some subtle changes towards him being born. So I committed to 12 months and not drinking. And then I was just going through a personal journey myself of really adopting that growth mindset and making positive changes in my life. And then I was like, pretty much standing in front of the mirror and said to myself, are you happy with your life right now? And I soon found that the answer was actually no. Even though there was some really cool stuff going on, life wasn't so bad. I didn't feel like I was battling extremely, but I was like, you literally get one shot at it, so why not build out what your ultimate version of happiness looks like and commit to it and see what happens. And we're about 18 months down the track now, and the people that are coming into my life, the opportunities, the human being that I am and things is just, I wouldn't live life any other way.
Was that external influences that caused you to have that reflection, or was it internal reflections that caused you?
Awesome question. I think it was
not because you told me to ask.
Yeah. No, I think it was internal, to be honest with you. Like, I've always had huge self-belief in myself, and I just like feel as like I was destined for good things or great things, but it was about trying to figure out what that is for me. So I just kind of was going deep on myself and learning more about how I operate. And I think it's really important. Like, the last thing you want to do is like get to the end of your time here and not actually know who you are, how you operate, and things like that. So
and why you're here. Like, do you now reflect? For now, you know why God put you on this planet?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm not a religious man by any stretch, but I think that I believe in something. I believe that purpose is what gets you out of bed every single day. And I really think that probably 90% of people out there are not living to their full potential, or they're too scared to have a crack, or we get too comfortable in life, and we miss out on so much. So I don't want that to be myself personally, and I do feel as though I've found my thing, and now I'm just doubling down on it. And it definitely hasn't been an easy ride. You get shit spoken about, you hear things, and questions being asked, and at the start I wasn't so, I thought that I wasn't worried about it, but it's one of those things. I didn't have social media, and like, to build something like this, you pretty much need the tools in the belt, So I didn't have social media for 4 years. I came onto social media, and at the start I was like, oh, it doesn't bother me, listening to the likes of Gary Vee and things like that as well. I was like, don't worry too much about anyone else. So
he's incredible.
He is incredible.
He's so inspiring. Again, when I am kind of like, fuck, I can't do this, I like go and watch Gary Vee. I'm like, I can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, he's so good. Some people don't like him, but he's actually a really caring, compassionate guy that's just on a whole nother level just through content,
Have you met him?
No, I haven't.
That'd be quite cool to go and meet him.
It would be. Yeah, we'll get him on a podcast. It might be a fast stretch. You just keep showing up every day. You build something really special so that it's an opportunity for him.
So just tell us what is Better Than Before.
So basically, it's a brand created at empowering, I guess, a growth mindset. We've got the 3 pillars. So I've been going away and really working on what the brand is, the mission, the vision, the how, the why, because that's really important. And it was getting to a stage where it was becoming difficult because I didn't have that roadmap. But all those things take time. It's something to work towards. It doesn't.
Because you can't have that from day one.
No, absolutely not.
Because you've got all these interactions over the last 18 months.
Yeah, for sure.
So tell us about it. What is it? What was it then?
Yeah.
And what is it now?
I guess at the start it was just me putting out content around me being a better version of myself, and then the community grows. People are buying into it. Other people are making positive changes. They're sharing, and that's what I want. I don't want it to be just coming from me. I want people to be sharing. Using the app so that we can be showing other people that impact's being made and things like that. The mission for the brand or the vision is to impact 1 million people through this journey.
Yep.
And it was about, okay, so how do you do that? And it's like, well, at the start I was just thinking, going in, as you would have seen early on, like just doing some of those random acts of kindness and things, and
which I love, by the way.
Oh, so do I. I want to
still do them?
I do, yeah. So I did one a wee while ago and sat down with a guy in Orewa, and he saw the camera on me. I wasn't too sure, but he sat down and just been able to have a conversation with him. Like, he had some major health issues going on. He's probably, in his 60s, like doesn't have any insurance in place or any backstops if he can't, keep working and things like that. And I'm just sitting there listening to this guy and thinking, fuck, there's some real issues out there, and I just think that if, instead of me focusing on one thing, like say mental health or whatever, if I can base this around, physical, mental and financial well-being, I feel as though that can take, that can do its bit to get rid of poverty. It can do its bit around obesity. It can do its bit around mental health. and it all ties in so nicely. And I want people to be putting themselves out of their comfort zone, meeting new people and having those interactions. Like that for me was so uncomfortable. But at the end of it, he said to me, it was quite funny, he's like, more people need to be, like you. These young fellas these days have got no effing idea. And I was just like, oh, that was gold to me. Like just the communication, it made me feel good. He felt good. I gave him a t-shirt and some other little things that I had on me as well. And, just that little interaction could, make him feel good.
When you engage with people who are challenged or got challenges, how does that, like, what happens to you in your heart?
I'm just like, what can I do? Like, how can I make this better for this individual in this point in time? And I'd love to be doing more. And that's what I want to do with this whole brand is I want to build it out. I've got financial goals and things that I want to hit. I need to get the right people on the bus so that, like, I've got personal financial goals myself, but at the same time too, the more finances that I have and the more, that just means the more that I can do.
Yeah, more resources. Right?
Yeah, more resources. I was listening to Andy Frisella the other day, you know who that is?
Yeah.
Saying he basically said, stop trying to say that you want to go and save the effing world. You know what his communication style is like.
Yeah.
If you're not going to get off your ass and you're obligated to make money, if you want to save the world, but you're sitting there and you're not, making money and things like that, you can't do stuff all. So, you need to like focus on yourself and things first and then, off the back of that.
So for people who don't know Better Than Before,
Yep.
how do they experience the brand now?
I guess through social media is
so Better Than Before on Insta?
On Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or you can add me on LinkedIn.
Twitter?
Well. Yeah, I'm on Twitter. I haven't used it, but it's only because I'm still learning that platform. But
Web3 community is big on Twitter.
Yeah, I do think it's important. And obviously Gary Vee, it's about, having, ideally I'd like to get to a stage I've got so much content, I'll be picking and choosing where to put that content on which platform, where it resonates and things. So at the moment, I'm sort of just putting the same sort of things on each platform.
You do short form, long form interviews?
Yeah, I do. Because I've only just shifted. The podcast is going to be a big thing for this brand moving forward because you can get so much out of an hour-long conversation as well.
Yeah.
And it's all about adding value. The last thing you want to do is people not to be able to take anything away from it or implement it into their life and things like that.
Yeah.
We want to make impact. So through a conversation, I feel as though my life's impacted from being in this position today, and then hopefully somebody else will, take something away from it as well.
Clothes?
Yeah. So clothes is another part of it. It's just because, being entrepreneurial, you need to have multiple streams of income to make it happen, So, the other day, just as an example, it's not financial enough for me right now. And I was at my grandmother's down in Christchurch. I was cleaning the gutters for $100 for an hour's worth of work. That's what needs to be done right now to make it happen. So I broke up with my partner not so long ago. We sold our home. So I'm literally financing everything out of my back pocket right now. I understand that, that's the way it's going to be, but I know through my actions, through my accountability for the people that are coming into my life, it's only a matter of time. Things compound. If you keep loading up the bit of timber, boom, you have a breakthrough. Then it gets tough and you go again. So I've been chatting with a few businesses right now about, sponsorship. I've got another few things that I'm doing in the mentorship space and things like that. I do want to have the likes of online courses running, things, and that's where Jaden comes into it. His whole approach around holistic well-being and things like that as well is.
There's a RFP coming up around the ministry. Like, is the target a youth sector or is it not actually? It's anyone for Better Than Before.
Yeah, I think everyone always tells you to be really specific. Who's your audience and things like that, but for me, the impact that I want to make is I want to just make it so what. Some of the content that I've done was with an 80-year-old woman, and I was telling her to go chase her dreams. I bought her books for her, and she's like, "This is amazing! Like, this has never happened for me." I've spent $15 and bought her a couple of books, and like in that moment, for me, it was just like, why would I say that it's for this demographic? Sometimes the way I communicate, drop the odd swear word and things, and that's just me. I'm not gonna change who I am or how I communicate.
Will you change that for your son?
I can be mindful. I understand the environments that I'm in and where, and even now, I could have dropped it a couple of times, but I've understood that, where I am and how I want to, come across in this environment and things like that as well. So
can I say,
awareness.
I've got 16 and 18-year-old daughters who have, when I see them, perfect language. And they have perfect language because they've heard me swear so much that they're like, we don't want to be like him.
Yeah.
My wife is not so convinced.
And sometimes I'll drop the C-bomb and things like that. And it is the way it is. And I think it's important to be authentically you at the same time. It doesn't matter what you do. There's going to be a positive and negative reaction either way.
Do you know one of the words that I don't allow in my life is can't?
Yeah.
Which has an alliteration to another bad word.
Yeah.
But it's actually, and it makes me smile because, particularly dealing with younger people, I just don't accept the word can't.
Yeah, what is it about that word?
It creates a block.
Yeah.
And we always can. And actually, what I learn from is having people around who, because it can be hard. Yeah. There are times when you get low and you're like, I can't do it. But if you're around other people who have a similar growth mindset, that lifts you up. Yeah. So, we're in this hat because we've had some challenges, right? Yeah. Mihi, who just came down before, said, last week I was on hockey week with my kids and really struggling with something. And I was like, I don't know what to do. And she was like, Andy, why don't you do this? I was like, why did we not think about that?
Yeah.
And I only got the opportunity to get the insight because I was open.
Yeah, you have to be. It's really important. And what I love about that is using that can't word is I used to always use, try. But you give yourself as soon as you use the word try, you give yourself an out. It's as simple as that. So I pull up all my mates. I pull myself up in conversation where I'll go to use it and then I'll reverse a little bit and be like, no, I will do this or I can do this and stop. It's that awareness around the language that you're using and things like that as well. If you can make those subtle little changes, awareness is everything. Like there's been some times now I've had some really tough things going on, and through the awareness, through the education, literally as I'm going into a situation, and instead of running off emotion, like that audio is popping into my head at that time to take a deep breath and take a step back and things. So.
It's pretty powerful.
Education is really powerful. I think I want to, make it look cool to educate yourself and things like that as well. And that's what I want, that sort of Red Bull vibe and things, but not just product focused. I want it to be community focused and, adopting that growth mindset and, helping people educate it, and making it cool to do that. Because I think the things that are getting glorified out there right now, and don't get me wrong, I used to do it myself too, is drinking, drugs. It's cool to do that. And I'm not saying that, like, if you've got the balance right and, it's not having an impact in your life and you're not waking up the next day like I was and being like, oh, I hate my life, I'm never drinking again and that sort of thing, and then doing nothing about it. Or, it's really, really tough. And I still go out now and, some of my friends still, use alcohol and drugs and I question some of their things sometimes, but I'm just in a really powerful spot that it doesn't impact me and I want to be a leader in that space.
Yeah.
I don't want to turn away from it, but it's just like if anyone needs to reach out at any point in time, they've got somewhere where they can come, and a problem shared is a problem halved. I always want to be open and I guess going back, like it's one of those things, I still don't know the overall vision or can give 100% clarity on what it is, because the whole thing is a journey, it's a process.
Well, so let's talk about business model and sustainability, because you've got a movement, right?
Yeah.
And you've got a movement that, like, my observation is you've got something that's powering you, right? You know where your feet are, you know your dream. And then there's always there'll be this gap, right, between where you are and where you want to go.
Yeah.
And so how are you thinking about the business model to support the movement?
Yeah. So one of the biggest things that I've had, and I'm pretty sure you know him, is I've had Harry Ferreira
Harry.
at Vega.
Yeah.
And I think that's how we got connected in anyway. But he's just gone out of his way to give me his time, which is, you know, really powerful, because I don't have that commercial understanding of business.
Yep.
It's like, I wanted a business. Okay, cool. What does Sam need to do? He needs to go register a business. Okay, next step, you need identity. You come up with a logo. You need something for people to stand beside.
Yeah.
So, you know, I guess the right people are showing up and helping me grow that understanding, which is an amazing thing, because actually off the back of that, when you understand how to establish a business, what a commercial model is and things like that, you know, then you can go into other businesses and help that understanding. So you can actually create.
Are you making money off the
off
brands?
the merch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you are.
Yeah, I am.
You need
definitely, 100%. Yeah. It's not a lot.
That fuels.
It does. Yep. So how I see it, the commercial model right now is I've got my NLP qualification. I haven't actually put it out there yet.
Yeah.
Is to be working one-on-one with people if they've got limiting beliefs, you know, addictions, you know, so many things in that, I guess, that headspace.
Yep.
So I want that to be a part of it, whether or not I facilitate that, because these are the things that I want to be doing. Is I want to be connecting, telling the story of the brand. It's going to get to a stage where I'm just not going to have enough time to sit down one-on-one. Return on investment, it's not worth it. But that will be a part of it in some way, shape, or form. That
you could
through it.
You could have some approved NLP practitioners on your
working
platform.
on it. Yeah. So I've got someone that I've been working with, Lana Innes, who we met through the qualification, who has been mentoring me in that space after the fact that I got my qualification. She's really amazing, sort of doing the whole digital nomad thing at the moment over in Bali. But I definitely want that to be a part of it, and other people can facilitate it. And then it's actually, I guess, helping other people that they can lean into what's going on with the brand. Then merch is a huge thing for me. Like I guess I take pride. I enjoy looking good. Whether or not some people think I do right now, that's up to them. But I feel good.
I only look good at times because of Pat here, who's the co-founder. He's like, and then he gives me a pair of shoes and I wear them every day.
Yeah. Well, you got some on the shelf there too.
I know. Advance, he'll kill me if I touch those shoes.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, they look good. So yeah, apparel is going to be a big thing. Like, I really want it to be a big player. And I'm still figuring that out as well. And obviously having athletes and things like that too, which we've got at the moment with Jaden, Emma, who's in mountain bike, and we've got Billy, who is sort of about 4 tiers under IndyCar over in the US at the moment.
That's cool. So they wear your merch?
Yeah. So Billy's more off track and things like that as well. And then Emma's the same, because we haven't got that. We just ran our first event through the brand in a dual slalom race that she put together. We got about $7,000 worth of swap prizes, so everyone walked away with something. They had an amazing time. Emma had a few curveballs thrown at her and things like that, and just to be a part of that person's resiliency and seeing what they put together. And she's facilitated that all off her own back for absolutely nothing. And I know that there were some things going on that really tested her. So yeah, there's people coming that are helping out. And then,
do you distribute direct? You're better than before on the website, right?
On the website.
You don't distribute through any retailers?
Nah.
Thought about that?
I have thought about it, because before I started this, I was at Under Armour. So I know different models and things. I was looking after sort of everything outside of the big box real sport. So
do you want to do?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Like, I quite like the whole exclusive thing as well. If you know somebody like G'd Up over in the Aussie right now, like they're doing like $2 million drops. But they're exclusive. Once it's gone, it's gone. You know, so I'm just trying to figure out if it's something that you have like a core range that's always in stock, that sort of thing, or is it, you know, you drop 50, it changes. Then that's when the resale and things like that come into play. If the brand starts getting a lot larger, you know, think Supreme, $1,500 for a red box logo T-shirt. You know, it's pretty crazy. So I guess it's just trying to figure it out. If it's right for the brand and it's like you're just thinking volume, you know, I know that there's probably some doors that as the brand grows that I could go knock on through my relationships that I've built through that.
Speaker fees, because you do speaking events?
Yeah, well, I hadn't until about two or 3 weeks ago. So I've taken
someone rang and said, hey.
Yeah. Someone emailed me, said to start with at Main Freight, Mitch, amazing dude. He sent me a photo today in the beanie. But he reached out to me and said, I follow you through my son. Now, his son, Liam, has got a kicking page on TikTok, got a lot of followers. Some of his videos go absolutely nuts. The kid can hit convert. I reckon he could just probably outkick anyone in the current squad right now.
Really?
Like seriously good kicker from 60 meters. Yeah,
That's
it's crazy. So he saw a comment that I left on his son's page that was apparently, you know, quite inspiring and empowering.
And you're just like going, no.
Yeah. So I was just like trying to pick him up because it's like, oh, it's cool what you're doing. And then he sent me an email about, I'll say 6 weeks ago. Oh, hey, it's Mitch here. I'd love you to get you into the business. And I was like, oh yeah, hadn't got there yet. And he's like, oh, it's for the main freight branch manager's leadership meeting. And then I was like, holy, like that's amazing. I was like, straight away, yeah, I'm keen as. Then off the back of that,
how did you work out what to charge?
He told me what he was like. To be honest, like it was one of those things. Like I want to be.
You'll do it anyway.
I would probably do it for nothing. To be honest with you,
but you got to charge for it because you got to value your time.
I do, and that's what he told me as well. That's what Harry told me and things like that at the same time too. So it's really difficult for me, and it's something to learn. Is about, you know, yeah, your time's valuable, you know, and things like that. So I know that Mitch wouldn't have probably accepted that anyway. But yeah, like they bought merch, they paid for me to go there. And then the one in Christchurch, just because that was all done around mental health and resilience and stuff like that, we all sort of done that to give back to the community. It was amazing. It was one of the most proudest moments of my life. It was at the Kaipui or the Northern Bulldogs Rugby League Club. So I played a couple of games for them growing up.
Because you were from there originally.
I was, yeah. So
well, you were from.
From there. I guess some people call me a Jaffa now because I've been up here 5 years, but it doesn't sit too.
There's very few of us true Aucklanders, right?
Yeah.
Warriors supporters, Blues supporters.
Yeah.
Not live somewhere else.
Oh, I'm hearty Warriors, definitely. But I love it.
We should go to a Warriors game together.
I'll be keen for that.
I think I'm going to ask Monty.
Oh yeah.
We can't go with him because he's too famous.
Yeah.
But we can ask him for some tickets.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Monty, if you're listening, I'd love to get you on the potty too, mate.
That's easy. I can commit for him. Because he sits next to me every day. I'm sure he'd do it.
Awesome. Yeah, he's a great guy. Like, obviously, he's all about discipline and things like that. Look at the shape of the man, you know. So,
especially for someone that old.
Yeah. So, I guess going back to the commercial model. So, yeah, merch. I really want it to be a big part of it. I think it's a great, you know, even just little things like this and. How I've put it on the website as well is it's about cues. You know, it's something I see every day that drives me to be a better version of myself. And even unconsciously, it's there, you know, when you're working out at the gym and things like that.
I didn't understand. I don't think I understood that.
Yeah.
But I have more recently understood it.
That's crazy.
I understand it when you look at your kids.
Yeah.
And you feel something that is just so cerebral. But it's other things, so like the little clever doing things around that. And maybe it's just because I wasn't conscious, because music's a cue for me.
Yeah, it
takes me to my happy place.
Yeah, I bet you've got songs that you'll anchor to and you'll just feel like, you know, really empowered.
Yeah.
Through the NLP, like anchoring is a big thing. So there's a few songs that I'm anchored to and my everything changes. Like say if I'm working out and that song comes on, I literally get like euphoric feelings running from my body because I will push a lot harder. And it might only last for 5 or 10 seconds. Yeah, I am at the moment. The eating.
Why?
Because it makes me feel good. It gives me a space where I go, I work out, and that's all I'm focused on. There's nothing else in my mind. It's just lift the next weight. And I think it's important. And through Jaden, I've got into a really good routine lately. That's just, I love hot water, and it's something that, it's a guilty pleasure. But I've gone in, so I'm at the new gym that I'm at because we've just shifted and set up the studio at this new place and things. And we've got Ringdahl Snap Fitness down the road, and they've got a sauna. And then from the sauna, I'll go straight into the cold shower, and that's how I'll start my day. But
cold showers, apparently. Cold water.
Yeah.
It's good for you.
It is. And he's got me into the whole breathing. So I was doing meditation and things like that, but I think it's important to be really open-minded. And because at the start, I would think these are things that in my life that I wouldn't have done previously. I think they're a load of shit. But until you actually try things, then you can make that decision of whether it serves you or whether it's not. It's like meditation too. Like sometimes you get caught up in your head and you're sitting there and you think that it's not working. But you're understanding actually what's going up there. You're sitting in there and you know it. And so sometimes it doesn't work. And then other times it's just so peaceful. It only takes 10 minutes of the day. You're doing something for yourself. And so it's about, like, again, it comes back to that whole discovery of who you are, what you stand for, and and all of that sort of thing as well.
Do you live? Does your boy live with you full time?
No, he doesn't. Yeah, so I have him every second weekend.
How's that?
Yeah, I mean, I have an amazing relationship with the mother. We just decided it wasn't kind of working for us. And any relationship or any engagement I go into now, I take full responsibility of how that other person treats me.
Yeah.
And that's a really powerful spot to be in. And that's something I preach on about. And I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not saying...
So you should just repeat that for me.
So
you take full responsibility.
Yeah, so how you act to me, I take full responsibility of how you're going to react towards me. Yep. Sometimes you can't help it. External factors. You might come in here and be really fucked off because the missus or the kids have done something or something's really tough.
Someone's trying to fuck me over.
You know, but if I understand that and be like, hang on a minute, Andy might actually be going through something here. You know, don't buy into that, because as soon as I do, then if I walk away from here and think, what have I done to piss Andy off? You know, I'm going to be sitting in that space mentally, and it has a far larger impact. Or, you know, so I'll be able to understand, or, you know, might quietly outside of whatever's going on, you know, I can say, oh, you know, is everything okay or whatever. But generally, if you take full responsibility of how anyone interacts with you, like the shit that probably doesn't get spoken to my face. All of the engagement with me right now is really positive. So, yeah,
which is powerful.
It is. It's a power tool, like to do that. And even with my partner, like ex-partner, I know that she's not going to, you know, do that. But I've got to be aware that, unfortunately, sometimes being a male, you know, things get taken away from you. You know, I understand that. So I want to do whatever I can to keep a smile on her face, make sure that she's happy, because I understand that could have implications on me seeing my son. And that's just the reality of it. But, you know, I'm really blown away. Like, I got a nice message on Father's Day. I said, oh, did he make, there was a photo and it had his handprints on it, and it was like, hands down, best father or something like that. And I was like, oh, did he make that at daycare? And she said, no, we made that at home for you. So, like, she's going out of her way to still make me feel, you know, great. We can still have a good relationship. She'll message me and be like, oh, I've got something on. Can you take him? If I can, absolutely. I'm spending more time with my son. And that's what I want to create for myself. If I want to be...
How old is he?
He's about 19 months old.
So it's interesting. My eldest is 18 and she's leaving home next year to go to university, right? And
awesome.
Likely, because she's an Australian citizen, likely going to Australia. And it's like, you know, I go, like, I'm so excited for her. I'm so pleased for her. But I'm also at the same time going, oh, what's my other daughter going to think? And how's she going to cope? And actually, you have this feeling of happiness and pride for them, and sadness.
I could imagine that.
Because, like, they're going.
Yeah.
And it's like, and we watched them play together in hockey last week, and that's in the same team, first 11. Cool.
Yeah.
And it's like so special.
It's crazy, because I'll go drop Rain off at daycare and I'm just about in tears.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me saying that. It's, you know, I'll drop him off, and it's lucky that he runs away and doesn't start getting attached or packing a sad. Like, he's like, right. Like, he loves it there. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to get out of here now. But yeah, you know, I mean, I get to see him, you know, quite often and things like that. And I guess how I see it right now is, yeah, he's going to be spending time with his mother. So what I need to do is I need to create something so epic, so special, you know, something that he can be proud of, so that if things change one day as he gets older and he wants to, you know, spend more time with me and things like that, then, you know, I don't have to be going to work for 8 or 9 hours a day and only seeing him X amount of time. He could literally, like, there could be a position or something created for him within what else is going on. So right now I understand I'm going to have to make a few sacrifices, and yeah, it's a tough, really, really tough one. But I've got to be selfish for myself too, because I've got things that I want to achieve in my life too.
Do you often, when I look at great sports people, they have time?
Yeah.
It seems that they are able to slow the world around them to do what they need to do, right? Like, in business and in life, like, you appear to me to have time. How have you enabled that?
To be honest, like, my life is going at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and I've always.
But you don't feel like it. You don't see like it.
I
do
you might
right feel
now.
like it.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it. If I don't see like it, then that's great. But yeah, it gets overwhelming and things like that. But it's just as simple as taking a deep breath, or, you know, using some of those tools that I've learned, you know, in those scenarios. And, you know, I can either slow down and then, you know, I'll start missing some things or opportunities. But I just start allocating. I'm starting to become more of a no guy. And like if there's things that come up, you have to say no. Yeah, I'll just say unfortunately that's just not. I can't make it work. I have to be. I'd rather that than lead people down a track and not be authentic and pretend as though something's going to happen. Like,
wow.
And also sometimes even with some of the messages, like you have to be careful because you've got your own shit going on too. If you start giving too much time, people become reliant on you and things like that as well. So it's important to do that, and it's something that I'm still learning about how to do that.
Now, I want to give you the opportunity to give a plug to the people that have supported you.
Yeah.
Because I know better than before, it, has not been here just because of your mahi. It's been because of other people who've believed in your vision.
100%.
So who's like supporting that? We heard about Main Freight recently.
Yeah.
But who was there for you?
Oh, shit. Okay. So I guess some people that come off the top of my mind is definitely, obviously, we've had a few conversations. So somebody like yourself, Harry, Jaden, Emma, the mountain bike athlete, Dylan, who has got cerebral palsy, is down in Dunedin. He's done some graphic design work for me as well. Mum, dad, sister, grandmother, aunties, like all my family.
Sponsors?
Friends. Yeah, so Broadhurst Builders were on board to start with the podcast and things. And unfortunately, due to COVID and things, some things have changed. So I'm having to work on that at the moment. But yeah, Max and Broadhurst Builders, the boys at Waghorn Builders. Another really few guys that I've been connected in with lately is Jacob Skilling. He runs the Broken Movement Trust. Starting to build a really good relationship with Zach Guilford on his journey to redemption. Who else have we got in there? Steve-O at Kings of Neon. That's who I started the podcast with early on.
Yep.
I was going through some tough times. He was financially supporting me and things like that as well. Just anyone that's bought merch, supported. Like for me, it's like I could literally go on and on and
now,
on and on.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty epic because it's good to recognize the people that have been there.
For sure.
Often because they see what you might not see when you're in it, right?
Yeah.
And they believe in you. Now, if you think about the linear progression of your business model, right, that's going to go in a certain place. My question is more how do you think about the non-linear opportunities that might come from the evolution of your business model?
Yeah, I guess it's just about taking those on board as they come. I think what I'm realizing is that instead of making a decision straight away, or I've learned that mentorship is a huge thing that's probably some people don't have.
Is that scalable mentorship? Because that's one-to-one, right?
Yeah. But I mean, as you start saying like about those linear things that come up, I'm just going to lean into my mentors because I don't want to make a decision that I haven't got all the right, or is not like the right decision. I'm soon learning that mentorship is so important. So I'd lean into other people and get their feedback, the ones that I trust and things like that, and then make that decision, going forward from there. But I'll never I'll look at every single opportunity as it comes up and say, does it fit within what we're trying to do? And that's something that I've always been trying to, there's probably things that I've done in the past that haven't probably aligned with what I was trying to create. But again, it's just.
But you've learned. So let's play this game. So linear things that you're thinking of that you want to do going forward in the next year that you need support or partners to do. So what would be linear things? Examples? More merch?
Yeah. So more merch. Jaden has got a charitable truck. Oh, he's got a event that he runs called Wheels and Wellbeing.
Yep.
So I think that there's great alignment. He's just in the background, sort of soft launched and created it as Better Than Before Wheels and Wellbeing. So what I'd love to do is bring that as in the charitable trust.
Yep.
So anything that's getting spent and things instead of, there's some great charities out there, but then we can be seen to be giving back to the community through that charitable trust and things like that. Do more within schools, things like that as well.
What else?
Also,
more speaking events.
Yeah, 100%.
You could go to every Main Freight branch.
Yeah, exactly. Or even small businesses. I've been talking to some small businesses. There's things that I want to create that, and just other events and things like that. If we can tack on, or I started talking to people at schools and things like that just off the back of this one in the week on Tuesday. So definitely want to be getting more around the kids. I want to launch, there's going to be a challenge called Operation 777. So I haven't said too much about it yet. So here's a great opportunity. So I've got my free 7-day challenge, but I wanted to do more and for people to take responsibility to be a better version of themselves. So Operation 777 is going to be based around 7 tasks, 7 days, 7 weeks. The tasks are going to be listening to an audio to educate yourself and whatever, if Andy wants to be a better father or if he wants to learn more about business, I want you to use that hour a day to educate yourself in that space. No drugs, no alcohol, working out for at least an hour a day. And this is the big one for me that I love, and it's going to be super uncomfortable, is speak to a stranger every day or check in with a mate. So the only reason I have that check in with a mate there and is because if kids want to use it at school, I'm not too sure if telling them to go talk to strangers is the right way to go about it. But yeah, I think it's really important.
Is that 4?
Yep. What I love about that is instead of us saying more needs to be done, that is at an individual level taking action to create better culture, to create more unity, to create opportunities for yourself, to put yourself out of your comfort zone, all in that one thing by just saying hello to somebody. I think it's really important because, you walk past so many people each day, we don't even smile at each other, we don't engage, heads down.
On their phones.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's also read 10 pages of a book each day. Also just eat really clean and healthy.
One more?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Jeez, it's pretty cool. 777.
Operation 777. So what I want to do is, and you have to write your intention for the day. That's something I do every day, and 3 things that I'm grateful for.
Will you write it?
So I write it in a diary.
Yep.
But now I've just got these. I've just got diaries made. I've got pens. I've got lanyards. I've got drink bottles. So if you want to do the free challenge anyway, but you want the little package so you can be writing your intentions down and things like that as well, which is really important. Obviously, that's a little way to commercialize it too.
Which is good, right? And that's also can be gifts that people can give.
Yeah, I mean, like this too, that's something, or, that I can leave a few here. And again, it's that subtle cue. That's the big thing about it, is giving people that cue that drives them. And talking about cues, I've heard people putting bloody scales in front of the pantry to stop them bloody, eating food. Sounds a bit crazy, but I guarantee you go there, you see that, and you're like, no, I'm not going to do that because you're trying to lose weight,
Have you thought about Web3 and NFTs?
I have, definitely. Yeah.
Have you got a plan?
No, not yet.
We should talk to Pat and we should have a chat about it because we've created 2 Web3 communities now. We've got one which Pat founded called Friends and Fam, which is about a community, small community, epic community, learning about crypto and NFTs together.
Yeah, awesome.
And then the second one, which we launched in beta on 2 nights ago, is called Hustle and Flow.
Yeah,
and it's kind of a Monarchy community for Web3, which is essentially, get on your hustle and get in your flow. And, we've done those. We've sort of linked a DAO in one of them, which is a distributed autonomous organization. And then we're going down the track of NFTs as well. And, the thing that's interesting for me is not the tech, it's the decentralization. And it's the opportunity to build community and alignment around that.
Yeah,
that makes me super interested. And so we should catch up offline and just work out.
I'm definitely keen for that. I think it's inevitable. It's going to be a huge part of it. I definitely have been educating myself. I haven't dipped my toes in there yet because I've just had so much other stuff going on. But I know the way that the things are going, and obviously, the people that I'm listening to right now, it's huge. It's only going to get bigger and things at the same time as well. So I think it's important to educate yourself with what's going on out there as well.
Yeah, it is important.
And the art, it's so much more than that. It's obviously a token that could get you to some, as an example, to some VIP events, some exclusive merch, or, it could be you get mentorship or things like that, or, create opportunities within the brand and all that.
Which is what Gary, Gary's famous, right?
Yeah.
But that's what he does.
And, that massive event that he has each year and things like that as well. Obviously he's, on a whole nother level when it comes to that sort of thing. But,
and you can do that.
Oh, absolutely.
So beyond Monty on your podcast, who else can give me a challenge.
If I was
don't give me like a unrealistic challenge.
Okay.
Like, don't give me Gary V. We could, but I don't know.
I don't know. Like,
Anyone in New Zealand that
anyone in New Zealand, like I'd love to be sitting down with more, even someone like Graham Hart, like just people that are obviously very, very successful at what they do.
He's a killer. I watched him give a talk.
The one just recently
at the Business Hall of Fame
Yeah.
dinner. There was he was inducted, and he's just super. Like it's confronting.
Yeah.
How.
And I heard him say the other day that he was like pretty much saying that anyone could achieve what he has done. He had that.
He's not normal though.
Yeah. Oh well, he's obviously not. But and I guess like Steve Adams was at his last dinner with like Willie Appiata and all that sort of thing as well. Anyone like that sort of thing. If I was thinking outside of New Zealand, who I would love to, and I mean these are probably thinking further on down the field, but it would be somebody like Gary Vee. I love Stephen Bartlett right now. Diary of a CEO.
Do you subscribe to that like paid, or do you just get the free?
Just the free ones. Like there's so much value in it anyway. He's one of my favorite podcasters.
Did you listen to when he interviewed the guy, ex-chief business officer of Google?
I've listened to a lot though.
I was like flabbergasted when I listened to that. It's actually, I've not got into previously listening to these podcasts, but now once you get the feeds and people say, hey, listen to this, it's incredible.
So I've got Brody Retallick on my next one I'm about to drop. Really good conversation.
That's cool.
We talked about the successes and the pressures of winning. Who was it?
What's he like in person?
Yeah, we sat down digitally. But yeah, he came across really good. We had a bit of a laugh. Like, I don't know if you saw the bit of content I put up.
I did.
Yeah, I thought it was, quite humorous, and I wanted to have fun and show a little bit more of that side as well. So yeah, there's some really good chats in there. He's had some real not struggles, but him and his partner, lost a wee boy, sort of like stillborn. So he touches on that, and we go deep on a few things.
When's that?
So I'm just working because I'm chatting with a couple of sponsors at the moment, whether or not they want to be as part of this one or just a few weeks past it. But I think it's going to be a great episode as well. And yeah, really. So I just want to make sure and see if they're keen to jump on sooner.
So give us a challenge. So do give me challenges.
Yep.
Like delivering Monty.
Okay.
He's
famous, someone like that. I'd love to. Even someone like I'd love to sit down because business is something that I want to learn more about and things like that as well. I'd love to sit down with someone like Cameron George as well.
Okay.
Yep. Anyone.
What about Don Braid?
Don Braid,
MD of Main Freight.
Oh yeah, that would be 100%.
Do you know this is a funny story? Hopefully he's not going to watch this, but he's an extraordinary leader who responds to my emails and text. Right?
Amazing.
Like he will respond.
Oh, another great leader I've got to plug
listen,
too.
He's never said yes.
Oh yeah.
Because we always go, hey, do you want to invest in this, or could we do this? He's been amazing at providing time, guidance, wisdom.
Yeah.
But I've not been able to get him to a yes. So my challenge is I'm going to try and deliver Don to you for a podcast.
Sweet.
Who else were you going to say? And then I've got one final question as we wrap up.
Oh, another person I just wanted to plug that's been really great for me is I can't.
Rita Ora?
Yeah. Nah, if I
She's coming here in October for the
Rugby
World Cup.
That would be epic.
How would we get that?
What I've been thinking as well is like I've been who was I chatting with was
someone so young should not have issues.
It's
with
because
memory.
I've got so much going on. It's like I'm thinking to myself, do I have ADHD or what's going on here?
Just wait till you're 53.
For people that I'd love to get on down that, towards further on down the track would be people like The Rock or, just doing what Stephen Bartlett's doing. Like he gets like Tim Grover, that's obviously MJ's coach and things like that, all around mindset. Like I want to, the only person I feel as though that is dominating in the space right now is Dom Harvey in New Zealand. With his numbers and things like that. And I think New Zealand's a great place that, opportunities can be created to get some really well-established guys on there because we're sort of forgotten, and I guess there becomes a time where, even if it is an extra couple million people or a few 100,000, that maybe they will start looking a little bit further afield and things as well.
Right, final question. I ask everyone this question. Go back to Kaipoi and you go into the local school and you find a 15-year-old version of yourself.
Yeah.
Right now, what's your advice to her or to him as they look out into the world and go, what do you think I should do?
I would say, I think environment is a really big thing. Like, I don't think I would change anything though, to be honest. Like, I honestly think everything that's happened in my life has got me to where I'm at now. So I'd probably just say, like, trust the process, follow the, you know,
but I'd put yourself in environments.
Yeah, I'd try and put myself in more environments, and just probably be willing to even go further and being uncomfortable and trying new things at an earlier age. But other than that, like for me, leaving school, then getting an opportunity with Red Bull, then going to apparel with Under Armour, then to be creating my own thing, sitting here making positive impact. I've made some stupid decisions in my life. Obviously, they haven't broken me, which is great. But overall, there's not a lot. Well, I don't think I would change anything because it's my story.
You know what I knew inherently why I didn't need to prepare today.
Awesome.
Right? With some others, I'm like, oh my God, I've got to make sure. Because I knew that you give room to people and that I probably came in this morning in a bit of a frenzy feeling, kind of going, I had some kava last night, which was quite nice.
Yeah, I was quite jealous actually.
We're going for another kava session. So at 4 Shells Kava down in Vic Park. It's amazing, actually. You go into that place and all of a sudden, everyone's just open, nice.
Yeah.
No, I actually turned up after a function last night down there and I'd had a couple of wines and I was like, can I have a kava? And I was like, no, you're not putting kava on top of alcohol. That's our rule. And I was like,
that's awesome.
That is awesome. But thank you for actually giving us time and giving us a bit of insight into who you are. And it creates loyalty and desire to support your mission.
Awesome.
Because it's so powerful.
Vice versa, mate. I really appreciate it. And thank you, everyone that took their time out of their day to come through and check it out.
Awesome. All right. So we're done for Real Talk today. Thanks very much for tuning in. Thanks to Sam. Sorry that Jaden couldn't be here. And we'll see you next time. Over and out. See you, team.